Hello, in this video lecture, we will go ahead and develop a simple date and time clock. Okay, this is the third project after our first and subtraction and addition. So this is the third project we are doing in this course. So go ahead and hit on files and move to new and hit on projects and Java projects and hit on next, and I'm going to call this date time and hit finish. So we've just created this here, you can see that, and go ahead and move to source and go over to order. So click on the application window and hit on next, and this is going to be date time, and the package name is going to be date time. So go ahead and hit on finish, and we've just created this. So we'll not be explaining much on this again because you've known this already. So go ahead and hit on design view right now. Okay, I'm going to stretch this from here. I will not be going to the source code to do that. So go ahead and hit on absolute layer and drop your absolute layer here. So you've taken the first step and get a gel label, and you can put a gel label here and change this to, let's put this to be time, or you can call it a clock. Let's call it a clock. Okay, so now I'm going to enlarge this, let it occupy the space because it's just date and time alone, so it gets all these spaces. So the font, go ahead and make this to be bold, and you can make this to be 25 and hit OK. So this is clock. So now we go to source code, and I'll go to JLabel. So here in JLabel, I'm going to copy the JLabel clock. I'll copy this, and when I copy that, I want to create a global variable because this place it is a local variable so that it can be used everywhere. So now I have, you can see, red underline everywhere because I just removed the variable. So coming over here just above the main method, this is going to be a global variable, and paste this here, put a semicolon at the end, and private. Okay, so now you've done that, you go ahead and you go ahead above the so now we've done this, you go below void main, the public void main, that is the public method, and create another method. So that method must be above the constructor public date time, it must be above this. So go ahead and say public you call it public void, let's call it date time, or yeah, I think that is the best thing we call it. So I'm going to call it date time. Alright, so now we've given it a name, date time. So it's a constructor So inside the date time, what we need is we have to create a thread so that this will continue to run always without stopping. So I'm going to say thread date time is equal to new thread. So, and now I'll go ahead inside here. I'm going to create another method, and that is public void run for our thread to run. So now, as we just did this, the next thing we need to do is, you can see that I'm having something error here. So I'm going to put this clock after this thread. I'm going to say this to be date time dot start. So it's going to start this thread here, but then go ahead and put a semicolon at the end of this, and everything is okay. So remember to put a semicolon at the end of your thread, and the date time is whenever the code is finished, it will start the program. So without the start method, your thread will not run. So now I'm going to use a try catch, because if there is any issue, it throws an error. I'm going to use the cache to get it. So I'm going to say try. I'll pull this down a little, and down here I'm going to put a cache block. Okay, so now I have a cache. Inside a cache, I'm going to put exception E. So I've removed all the errors because I don't like working with errors. So now we need a loop. You need a forever loop. So it's either use a while true or use a for. So I'm going to use for with a double semicolon inside. So this is where my code will go in, and I'm going to say calendar, say cal equal to, the type I'm going to use is Gregorian calendar. I'm going to say Gregorian calendar. So this calendar, you are going to import this. So you've imported that, and then you're going to import calendar as well, so that the error will go out and it's gone. You see that? So now go ahead and put int day is equal to cal.get. You call the object cal.get calendar dot. You can use this to be day of the month. So day of the month, and the next one is int for the month. So cal dot get. So this is going to be equal to calendar dot month, for a semicolon at the end, and int year is equal to cal dot get calendar dot year. Press semicolon at the end. So this is for the date. Now let's go ahead and work on the time so that the time will also work fine. So you start with a seconds. Int second is equal to cal dot get calendar dot second semicolon, and for the minute is equal to cal dot get calendar dot minute, put a semicolon at the end, and for the hour, int r is equal to car dot get calendar dot r, put a semicolon at the end. So now you've done this, we need to be able to display this, and what we need is this variable IBL clock. So I'll call IBL clock. I'm gonna say, you can just go over here and copy this, because each time I'm typing, sometimes while talking I make some mistakes, and I'm not happy doing that, but I have to keep talking and typing at this moment. So dot set time, set text. So I'm going to display this. So first one is, I'm going to say the time. Let me say time. I'll first of all take the hour, because that is how it's being done. The hour will display first. On your time, when you're using a digital clock, the hour comes first, and the next one is the minute. So after the minute, the next one is the second. So you can see that. Then after the second, we can now give a space and go over to date. I'm going to say date year. So can put a forward slash. So I am using concatenation. We've treated all this in this class. Month, so the next one is day. Okay, now it needs a delay time so that it can move per second. So sleep can come down a little bit so that you can see what we are doing. Sleep, for every 1000 is a millisecond, it gives us a second. And go ahead and put a semicolon at the end. So now I'll drag this down so you can see the whole code here. So go ahead and run this. Let's check it out and make sure it is working fine. Okay, this is not really displaying. What it means is that we didn't call the method here under initialization. So what you do now is you copy this date time, copy. So get this, and under here, after initialization, for this to work out fine, place semicolon at the end and run this code again. Okay, so you can see I have, this is 8:30, and down here on my clock you can see that is what I have. And if I open this, you can see that just the same thing, 29, 30, 31, 32. So I'm going to wait for this to be able to clock over to 31. So if this clocks over to 31, that means that this is really working out fine. Okay, so it's currently at 50, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and let's check it out. You see that? So once it reaches to 60, it moves to 31. So I believe that you've seen that this works out fine, and the date and time are really working out very well. So I believe that you really understood this and you really got it. Okay, so if you have any question concerning this, let me close this so that you can see the code and you can be able to play around with it in case you want to play around with it. So if you have any question under this particular project, please try to use the question and answer sections, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you in the next video lecture.